Hello, it's Nikki. How you doing? I'm coming to you on Black Friday, but don't worry, I've got nothing really to sell. I'm not really doing Black Friday. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed by it all, to be honest. You know, there's things flying. It feels like a 90s game show. It's like this gunge flying at my head from here, there, and everywhere. Now, I'm sure there are some really great deals out there, but I think sometimes that pressure to purchase, it can just be too much. So I'm not doing anything Black Friday specific, although if you do want to purchase my business goals course, it's still half price, or if you purchase it full price, I will gift another course to somebody else. So you can go to nikkieraby.com/business goals to find out more about that. But I'm not here to talk about Black Friday. I'm here to share some realizations of what's been going on in my week. And don't worry, I'm not going to wang on about loads of personal anecdotes, but I think there's a lot of stuff that I can share with you that's been happening in my business over the last week, over the last month, and how things have really started to shift. And spoiler alert, unfortunately, it's not going to be just one thing that I did that changed everything. And I really wish marketers would stop saying that, because it isn't. It isn't really one thing. There's so many different things that have been going on. So I am starting this, also just revealing that I'm not going to be revealing any specific numbers, and there are some things that I can't talk about because I've signed a contract, but it will all reveal itself in its own good sweet time. But I am recording this on the 27th of November, and this is one of my, and you can look at it, I'm just going to say successful months in business ever. And I'm not going to go into the details of that, because for some people it might be like, that's not successful at all. But for others it'd be like, oh my goodness, I could never do that. But for me personally, I feel like I have gone through lots of new levels. So say we're in a computer game. I've gone through lots of new levels that I didn't really know were possible for me. And this feels really great and exciting, and I've suddenly feel like I've tapped through into something of like, oh, so if I can do that, what's now possible? But as I've mentioned before, I'm very northern, and I don't want to share too many details, because there's always that thing of me just feeling like it's a bit braggy, or it's a bit inappropriate or insensitive or something like that. Anyway, what I wanted to share is this week I've been filming. So I've had 2 really long filming days, which has been great. And oh my goodness, I just love being on set. Like, I love all aspects of my work. I feel really pleased that I went for this portfolio career, because it's a wonderful thing. But, you know, there's nothing like that live setting. And sometimes that is with a client doing a strategy day, where they suddenly have that breakthrough of like, oh, maybe I could do this. Oh my goodness, I could do this, and this would be great. And, you know, sometimes when you're live on set and there's a crew and all kinds of creative people, that's really exhilarating as well. And the truth is, I did not expect that this thing was going to happen this month. And this is why I think this is the first point as well, is I have made a deliberate effort not to, and this is not to say I'm not aware of what's going on, because I am, and I do keep in tune with what's going on in the world. But I make a distinct decision, what am I going to fill the majority of my time or my head or my energy with? Am I going to let myself, and 99% of the day, be consumed with the heaviness of 2020? Or am I going to see if I can find ways to bring some joy or balance or possibility within that? So obviously that's a very sweeping statement, and my situation may be different from yours, and you might be listening and going, oh my goodness, Nikki, like, how dare you say that? You don't know what it's like for me. Please know that I fully hear what you're saying, and that's why I don't want to just say, like, just do these 3 things and it'll be great. My goodness, we are all finding our feet, aren't we? And we're all just working these things through. But I want to say that this filming and the way that November has panned out is unexpected to me. And this is the first point I want to share with you, is you never know when this next meeting or this next opportunity is going to come. My question is for you, are you ready? Are you ready for the possibility that something might come along and knock your socks off? That something might come along way earlier than you anticipated. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to receive it? Or are you going to say, oh my goodness, it's not the right time, I'm too busy, I'm too stuck? And this is something that I need to make clear, that 6 or 7 years ago, I actually wouldn't have been ready for this opportunity because my life did not support my dreams. That my day-to-day schedule was not in alignment with what I needed to do. So I needed to have flexibility. I needed to be able to make my week work for me. And actually, it was working against me. I felt really trapped. I felt stuck. I felt like, I just couldn't let something in. So law of attraction, working with the universe, however you like to think about it, I'm going to give you an analogy. If you've got your eye on a glorious new sofa that you want to bring into your life, and you haven't done your measurements of what your living room looks like or feels like or measures like, and you have no desire or no impetus to get rid of your old sofa, that big old brand spankly new sofa is going to find it really difficult to make it into your living room. So sometimes you do have to make those moves of, okay, what is the length of this wall? Could that sofa fit in? Are we willing to move around the furniture? Is this a possibility? Oh, how much do I really like that thing? Am I willing to pay for the 3 delivery people it might take to bring it into my room? That's working with what you actually want. Because some people will stay in that moment of like, I really want that sofa. I want that sofa. Why is that sofa not coming? I need it now. The Veruca Salt moment. But what you have to do is you have to be willing to make that space for it and to say, sofa, brand new sofa, whenever you're ready, babe, like I'm here to move stuff around and I'm all good and I'm all ready for you. So that's my first point. Are you ready? Is when the next meeting comes or the opportunity, are you actually going to be willing to go, yeah, okay, let's go for it. And that feeling of not knowing all the answers or being in a state of trust of, for example, this week, leaving my 2 children for the length of time in the day, leaving my baby, certainly, that was the longest I've ever left her. And she still really likes me to put her to sleep. Turns out she was just waiting on the sofa at 8:30 for me with my mum when I got back. Like, oh yeah, just to let you know, I'm not going to go to bed without you. So I'm just going to chill out here. I'm just going to be here. But, I had to be willing to put that trust and go, no, it'll be fine. She'll be okay. We'll figure it out. I'll do all these things. So that was my way of letting this opportunity in there as well. The second thing I want to say is, are you wearing or displaying your 360 sandwich board? So we're so lucky, aren't we, that we don't have to go out and wear one of those big costumes and hand out flyers in order to promote our business. And there are some businesses that really require that on the ground or on the high street type marketing. And the temptation sometimes on the flip side of that is to go, I'm not doing enough. Do I need to be on LinkedIn? Do I need to be on Pinterest? Oh my goodness, I don't have an Instagram strategy. And we get so overwhelmed that we actually don't tap into any of those things. And what I want to say to you is stop, breathe, take a moment and just start with one of them. And don't let the overwhelm consume you to think that none of it is possible for you. So much of it is possible for you. You just have to start. And one of the things that I've realized, and I've been doing this as I've been reworking my website a little bit, is I'm always thinking, how can I make my website, my social media, my online presence work for me when I'm not in the room? How can I show people that I'm ready, that I'm good to go, that I am the person who is to help them with this, rather than that pressure of being on the phone or doing sales calls with people all the time. Now, I do have discovery calls with people, but generally by the time people come on a call with me, they are so ready because they've got so much information about me. They've listened to this podcast, they've watched videos, they've joined one of my lives, maybe they've watched several of my masterclasses. They've been in my world for a long time. So instead of thinking, how can I just get somebody on the phone with me and I'll convince them, think about all the stuff behind the scenes that you can do that will show people how great you are. Okay, the third thing. It's easy to do and it's easy not to do. This is a phrase that really helps me in becoming more focused, more laser focused, because sometimes it is those small things that make all of the difference to getting something right. So, for example, when my partner and I, we might do a self-tape for something. So a lot of the acting industry, they don't want you to go into a room at the moment. We're not going into studios to audition. We're doing the tapes from home. And there might be times when I've been up all night, or, the living room is a mess and that's where we need to film. And maybe we've got a toddler who's wandering around and we've got a million other things to do. And maybe we've only got 22 minutes to be able to nail this. I'm always thinking, what can I do to make this easier? What are the tweaks that are going to make all the difference? Because I'll let you into a secret. Most people don't do the simple things. Most people choose to leak their energy. So in the situation that I gave you, they might be like, yeah, but they haven't given us enough time and I've been up all night and, the living room light is really dark at the moment and it's the end of the year and I'm tired, and they live in that space. Now, it's really easy to live in that space. Of course it is, because we're all human beings with emotions and we're working through a pandemic. But if you can take that time to do those small things where I go, do you know what? I'm going to take the time to move that camera so actually it's going to give me more light on my face. And it's going to add 2 minutes to the process, but ultimately I know that I'm going to get a better result from this. So it's about thinking in terms of your business and your brand. What are those small things that are going to make all the difference? And as I say, they're really easy to do and they're really easy not to do. But if you do them, you will start to see the cumulative effect from that. And that's when you start to see that magic happening, where you suddenly go, oh, the fact that I've put those things in place, I've got more space to think. I've got more clarity of thought. Oh, actually, that person who emailed me and asked me for something, that was a really quick done deal in a short amount of time. And I didn't have to, worry about going back and forth. And it felt really easy. So really go into that and think about this practical. What are the things that would just increase things by 1%? What would help you to, it's that thing of like, what would your future self really thank you for? And for me, I'm going to give you a really silly example. Like if I'm on top of the washing by the time Monday morning comes and I know my son has got his 5 days of uniform, it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. I know that ripple effect works so much, because then in the morning I've got a bit more time. Like I might even be able to squeeze in a 20-minute run. He's chilled, he'll get himself ready because they're all sorted. And it's just those little things that you start to be able to open up, and therefore the ripple effect of that. So that ripple effect is I might have time for a run, and therefore I feel more creative, and therefore I can bring a different angle to my clients. Therefore I can bring a different perspective. Therefore I'm feeling more in my body. I'm feeling more confident. I'm feeling like I have lots to give, so therefore maybe I might charge more, and you can see how that goes. And also in terms of my life, like if I'm feeling topped up as a mum, I feel like I'm going to give my kids more because I'm going to have more patience, I'm going to have more creativity, I'm going to be much more like fun mum, even though they might be like, all right, fun mum, stop, what are you doing? But you can see how those ripple effects happen. So sometimes it's like, oh no, that just seems far too much effort. But if you can flip it and look at it in a different way, it's I'm excited just to see what could happen for you. Try it yourself, as Neil Buchanan would say. Okay, this has been really noticeable as well for me, of really figuring out which side of the fence do I want to be on. So here they are. Do you want to be perfect or imperfect and trying things out as you go? Do you want to launch and actually go for it and then tweak as you go, or not, and just keep something on your desktop? Do you want to wait until, or do you want to just start and see how you go and dip your toe in and be part of the conversation and figure it out? Or do you want to just dream? Do you want to just have daydreams and be that person who tells your mates in the pub, like, I'm thinking about doing this, I might possibly do it, or this idea is on my mind? Or do you want to start doing? Do you want to start doing, launching, selling, going live, being creative, actually doing the do? It's really good to notice where you are, because sometimes what can happen is you might say, I'm not getting the results that I want, I'm not hitting my targets, or this is another month that's gone by and I'm still not where I want to be. Check in with your action. Check in with what's going on. What is your input? Are you in the place of waiting, keeping stuff on your desktop, hoping, dreaming, or are you doing? Are you getting yourself out there, experimenting, in conversation, doing what you need to do? This week also, because it's been so mad and I've had 2 really chunky long days, I've noticed glaringly where the gaps are in my business. And I could beat myself up here and be like, I haven't put any good content out this week, I've barely posted on Instagram, I'm behind on my Movember challenge. And of course, those things, all of them, not really ideal. I always work on the basis, if you've listened to this for a while, that I like consistency and it's little and often and things like that. But having this reflection time of like, okay, these are where my gaps are, and not shaming myself for that, it's given me permission to really think about what are the decisions I need to make. So the decisions I need to make for 2020 is figuring out how I build my team and who I want in my team and what that looks like, and what's going to be really important to me in 2021 based on my goals. So sometimes when you have that, the temptation is, I don't know where it stems from. Maybe it's like, I remember at school we had to be super critical about what we could have done better. Or, you know, if you get brought into a work meeting, like we really want to reflect and just see where you're up to and give you some feedback. And sometimes we avoid that because there's some shame, like, oh gosh, I haven't done that and I have dropped the ball. And you know what? I'm not here for that. It leaks my energy too much. So I've been really gentle with myself and gone, ooh, brilliant. Thank you for letting me know, business, where my gaps are. Okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm not going to say I'm terrible, I'm rubbish, I'm so behind and beat myself up. I'm just going to give myself that permission and that realization where I need to go next. Your job is to follow the brief. So this has been really important as an actor, and it may be important for you running your business as well. What is the brief that you're following? So one of the things that I always say with clients is I have no agenda, and I've set myself up in that way. So I don't start going, right, this is the kind of success I think you should be having, and this is what you should do, and this is the number of clients, and this is how you should work. No. For me, it's about listening to the brief. What is my client after? What do they want? What are their outcomes that they want to bring into their world at the end of working together? Now, sometimes on a discovery call, they may list them and I go, I don't think I'm the right person. I think it would be much better if you spoke to this person, or this is going to be like a much better option for you. And I do that with full integrity, because I only want to work in a place where I can actually help people. Otherwise, you're just taking somebody's money and kind of bullshitting your way through it. And that is not my vibe at all. But I think it's really important to listen to the brief, because once you know the brief of what you're helping people with, you can start to create content around that. You can start to write a banging sales page where people go, oh, this woman feels like she's answering, she feels like she's talking to me. That's what I want. And as an actor, it wasn't my permission or my job to go, guys, this is what I think that I should be doing, and actually I need you to film me from this way because like this is my best side. No, I am there to follow the brief. What do they need in that circumstance? The next thing I want to say is focus on the job at hand. I think the temptation is to be multitasking the whole time. So to be at an event but Instagramming it at the same time, or to be doing something but really thinking about how you can 10x your income by doing something else and maximizing. And on the second day that I was there, another job opportunity came in that my agent asked me to do a tape for. And I immediately went into pleaser mode of like, oh my goodness, yes, of course, I'll do that. I'll get up at 7, I'll do that. I'll, X, Y, and Z. Don't worry. And I actually had to pause and say, no, my job is to focus on the job at hand. And if I can do this other thing on the side or on top of it, great. And it turns out I was able to do that in the end, and I have time and space to do it. But I think the temptation sometimes is to be trying to do all the things. And what happens is it makes your energy really frenzied. It makes you feel like you're scattered, that you're doing nothing right. And then you have that 2 a.m. moment where you're like, oh, that went wrong. Oh, I could have done that better. Oh, I'm not sure about X, Y, and Z. So focus on the job at hand. Really make sure that you're in the moment. How many times have you been to an event where somebody's looking over your shoulder and hoping for somebody better to come along or more interesting or anything like that? It doesn't make you feel good. So lock into that situation, that circumstance, and really talk to the people who are there right now. There is a part B to this, which is about bringing presence. Are you fully present with your client, in your conversation, writing your email? Are you being really intentional? So, for example, with this job, we had to have lots of different costume fittings because it was making sure that it all worked well within it. And the costume stylist said to me, gosh, thank you so much for being so patient. And of course, that goes without saying. I'm not going to be like, no, it's taking too long. Oh gosh, I would never ever do that. So it's really thinking about how you can be present in that moment. Are you giving that person what you need? Are you, when you're with clients, too busy trying to say like, let me know, recommend me to somebody else, can you link me up with this person, instead of being there in the room? 2 more points. There's no time for making do. Build it into your budget. So this week, I know that I need to eat really good food. I know that actually in terms of me going to the next level. So me going to the next level requires, and I'm really skeptical about using this phrase, about the investing in myself. But let's just do it on a basic level. Let's not just say, oh my goodness, it's got to be, $100,000 that you've got to spend on a coach. I'm not saying that in the slightest. So thinking about investing yourself, are you eating really well? Are you making sure lots of good water goes into your body every single day? Are you getting good early nights? Do you have good systems in place to really support your business? Are you getting the support? Do you have a really good network that can help you? Do you have things in place that can support your family life as your business goes to the next level, etc.? There's so many things around that. And what I would say is, the things that have got you to your point right now are not going to get you to where you ultimately want to be. And sometimes you see this, don't you, where sometimes people get ill or they get burnt out and they go, yeah, I can't actually eat crisps for breakfast anymore. If I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, then I'm really going to have to pay attention to this. And then going back to that moment of it's easy to do and it's easy not to do in that moment. So there's no time for making do. Just build it into your budget. And again, that will give you some indication about your pricing, what's happening, and where you need to go from that. Finally, the little moments really count. The moments where you say thank you, the moments where you take the time, the moments where you help somebody, the moments where you go above and beyond. The moments where you really pay attention and you say to the person that you're working with, does that actually make sense? Is there anything I need to add to that to make that work better for you? The little moments really count because it can be tempting to go big. More ideas, more value, more subscribers, more followers, more money, all the things. But check in with the details. Are you across them? Are you saying thank you to that person who did that? Are you signing your emails off in a way that actually feels good? Or are you just doing like, I'm going to write 200 really average emails instead of 20 really lovely connected ones? I want you to notice all of that stuff. Because again, everybody will tell you to go bigger and better and like stretch your arms out like a big spider going here, there and everywhere. But we're here for the long run, right? We're here to play the marathon, not the sprint. So pay attention to those moments. People do remember. People do get it. See if you can, I think there's some awful corporate phrase of like, are you squaring the circles? I want you to pay attention to that as well. And also let me know what you got from today. I would love to hear it as always. And you can message me, DM me, email me. And I'm excited to see what your 2021 plans are going to be. I'm actually going to be taking a lot of time off over Christmas because I need it and I want it, and I'm just looking forward to, watching films on my sofa and not really doing much work. But 2021, I know is going to be a big year. I know this year has really been putting in some new frameworks. I feel like I've almost built out the floor plan for the extension and it started to go in. So I need to make sure that I'm rested and I'm ready to see what that extension is finally going to look like. As somebody said yesterday, because I did a masterclass for them, I'm the queen of analogies. I might get that on a t-shirt or a mouse mat and see how we go. But as always, thank you so much for just being part of this, for being part of the podcast. Again, in this masterclass I did, I was like, my goodness, this is nearly 3 years. And I just really appreciate your help and your support and just you being there and letting me be in your ears on a consistent basis. Sending you lots of love wherever you are. Any questions, as always, do come back to me, tag me, let me know where you're listening, all that good stuff. I'm going to go and make a brew and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.